Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to, cut through the noise and really get to the heart of compelling stories and research. Today, we're doing something a bit different. It's a unique kind of deep dive, very personal, but I think profoundly universal too. We're not dissecting a big report this time. Instead, we're plunging right into a human story, a real turning point documented in this insightful piece called Deathbed Regrets. It's written by Curt Roese, who's the founder of Retirepreneur.com. And what makes this, well, really compelling is we're getting a front row seat to someone's big shift. It speaks right to what we try to explore here, living a life with purpose, action, fulfillment.
Exactly. And our goal today really is to go beyond just telling Kurt's story. We want to pull out the key insight, the actionable stuff from his experience, turn his personal moment into something like a blueprint, for embracing possibility wherever you are in life. It's not just about his motivations, it's about finding those universal triggers that can help anyone shift from maybe dreaming to actually doing. It's really a great example of agency, showing you've got more control than you might think.
Couldn't agree more. It's about understanding that moment when the alarm clock doesn't just buzz, it roars. It forces a fundamental change. A great lesson in not letting your dreams just sit there gathering dust. So let's really dig into what happened.
Okay, so Kurt's big shift. It started kind of ironically on a totally normal day. He was just driving, minding his own business, probably thinking about work, maybe even that deathbed regrets topic for his newsletter, And then bam, this huge semi-truck just roars past him on the highway. Happens all the time, right?
It's another truck on the road.
Yeah.
Except, well, it wasn't just any truck this time. Because plastered right across the back of this trailer, huge letters, impossible to miss, was this message. So short, so potent, it just stopped him cold. It said, "Die with memories, not dreams."
Wow.
Yeah, like the universe rented a billboard on an 18-wheeler. A direct challenge.
That's fascinating. And Kurt talks about this, right? How sometimes the universe doesn't whisper, it just yells past you at 70 miles per hour.
Exactly.
It wasn't subtle. It was a real confrontation. Psychologically speaking, it's a classic trigger, that external event creating this sudden cognitive dissonance. He probably knew somewhere inside about those unfulfilled dreams, but this just cut through everything. The daily noise, the excuses we all make. It forced him face to face with what he'd been putting off, shook him right out of autopilot.
A real moment of reckoning, yeah.
Mhm.
So what was it specifically that he realized he'd been postponing for so long, even though he had, a pretty full life already?
Well, Kurt's pretty open about it. He says for as long as he could remember, he had this kind of mental list, dreams he just carried over year after year, like an unfinished to-do list that just gets longer.
We all have those, I think.
We do. It's a very human thing, these aspirational lists, imagining future versions of ourselves.
And these weren't small things either, right? We're talking major life goals, like wanting to retire early enough to really enjoy life, not just scrape by,
Yeah.
to thrive. And earning a master's degree from a university he felt proud of, that intellectual challenge. Building his own flexible online business, getting out of the traditional mold. Health, too.
Yeah, getting healthy, losing weight, that link between physical well-being and just living better. Travel often, meaningfully. Experiences, not just stuff. And, the one that gets me becoming a real guitarist. Not just noodling, but actually playing.
Right, that yearning for mastery, for creativity.
But the stark reality, and this is what hits home for so many people, he admits that by age 60, much of that list still undone. And look, it's not about judging him or anyone. It's just acknowledging a really common human experience. You hit a certain age, you look back at these dreams you've held on to, maybe for decades, and realize you haven't really gone for them.
A sobering moment.
It can be, but also motivating, right? It shows that gap between what we intend and what we actually do. The implementation gap, psychologists call it. We know what we want, but acting on it consistently, that's the challenge.
And it's important, like you said, this wasn't someone miserable. Curt makes it clear he had a rich life. Married, as he says, the sweetest woman on the planet, raised 4 kids, 9 grandkids now. He cherishes them. He'd had business wins and, his word, face plants. The ups and downs of taking risks.
Sure, the reality of life.
Right. Seasons of joy, seasons of challenge. He calls himself just an ordinary human. It wasn't about lacking things. He had a lot, but still felt that pull, those personal dreams just sitting there.
That's a really key point. And his thoughts on why they sat there are so relatable. He says, maybe fear, maybe timing, maybe just life getting in the way of living. And those aren't excuses. They feel like honest observations. We all get caught up, right? The daily grind job, family, money, it pushes those big personal dreams
The
aside.
tyranny of the urgent.
Exactly, it overshadows the important. But his self-awareness here, that's what makes his story powerful. He sees the real obstacles, the fear, the feeling overwhelmed that we all face.
Okay, so this leads us right to the big shift. That truck moment forces the issue. Curt explains that hitting 60, suddenly those deathbed regrets quotes, they weren't just cliches anymore. Things like live life to the fullest, don't die with your music still inside you. They stopped being platitudes and started feeling like, well, instructions, urgent ones, a personal mandate almost.
Yeah, this is where his whole mindset flips. It's a profound change. He shares this powerful belief. It really lines up with cognitive reframing principles. The past is just information. It is not a prison sentence. The present is an opportunity. And the future, that's where the magic happens.
Love that. The past is just information.
It's not just a nice phrase, it's a total reframe. He's choosing not to see past inaction as failure or something that limits him now. It's just data that frees him up from regret, right? And makes the present the launch pad in pure growth mindset. Believing you can develop abilities through effort. A total pivot from what I didn't do to what I can do. That shift, often the key catalyst for real change.
And right out of that reframe comes this really simple but powerful thought for him. I can accomplish anything I truly set my mind to. It sounds basic, maybe, but when that really clicks for someone, it unlocks a whole new level of personal power, doesn't it?
It really does. It moves from just an idea to a core belief. So once that belief was solid, the only question left wasn't if he could do it, it was, would I finally start doing it? Which, again, points to that gap between knowing and doing. Even after a big insight, acting is the next hurdle. He clearly didn't want to be that guy, you know, the remember when guy always talking about missed chances.
Or the armchair quarterback.
Exactly. Critiquing from the sidelines while his own dreams just sat there, he chose something else. To be, as he puts it, a quiet example of what's possible, inspiring through action, not just talk. That difference between just wanting something and actually making it happen, implementation.
And wow, did he start implementing? This is where it gets really inspiring. Proof that it's never too late. His story becomes like a how-to guide, not just a nice anecdote. Okay, first thing, that academic dream. He applied to the University of Florida's master's program in entrepreneurship. I mean, think about that. Jumping back into a demanding master's program at 60, the grit involved.
Alongside students maybe decades younger.
Yeah, and he didn't just apply. He got in. He's on track to graduate December 2025. That says so much about commitment to lifelong learning, pushing yourself intellectually. It's the process, not just the piece of paper.
Absolutely. And what's really inspiring, too, is he didn't just hit the books. He tackled fear head on. That fear of public speaking, he actively faced it. Entered pitch competitions.
High pressure stuff?
Totally. Pitching complex ideas to, potential investors, seasoned pros, huge pressure. And he didn't just show up, he won some of them. That shows a real willingness to get uncomfortable, to seek out challenges for growth. It proves that idea, right? Growth happens at the edge of your comfort zone. Success often follows vulnerability.
And then he launched Retirepreneur.com, took all that learning and insight, and built this venture. It's not just a website, it's a platform growing out of his own journey, helping others navigate their path to a fulfilling retirement. Another dream checked off. Turning personal growth into something that helps others, building impact.
And let's not forget the health piece. He lost weight, which for many is a huge challenge. But it's more than the weight loss, it's reclaiming vitality. He's active now, hiking, walking, biking, Pilates with his wife, Shuri. This isn't some quick fix, it's a lifestyle change, a commitment to long-term well-being. Think about how that impacts his energy, playing with grandkids, just enjoying life with his wife. Quality of life.
And the travel. Anyone who loves exploring will appreciate this. He and Shuri committed to traveling somewhere every single month starting in 2026. Even short trips count. Think about the planning, the intention behind that.
That's real commitment.
Yeah. Imagine the memories they're actively creating. Building that life rich with experiences, not someday maybe dreams.
And then there's the guitar. I like this part because it feels so real. He admits he's still working on his guitar chops. Some dreams take longer, right? Especially mastering something like an instrument. So it's not a story of instant perfection, it's ongoing commitment. It shows that transformation is a journey, and there's joy in the pursuit itself, even if mastery takes time. Patience, persistence, include parts without regret.
So after all this incredible change, Curt brings it back to us, the listener. He says, if I can accomplish all of this and still show up as the loving husband, father, and Pappy, that's what his grandkids call him, that I'll leave this world full of stories, not regrets.
Such a powerful point. Building a legacy of lived experience, showing fulfillment doesn't mean sacrificing relationships. And then he hits you with the direct truth. Here's the honest truth. If I can do it, so can you. And that's not meant as some fluffy platitude. It's a real statement of belief. Belief in the capacity of the ordinary person for extraordinary change. He's proof it's possible. It leverages that idea of social proof, doesn't it? If someone relatable like Curt did it, it opens a door for others.
And he drives it home. You don't need to be special. You don't need permission. Think about that. How often do we wait for a sign, for someone else's okay, for the perfect time that never comes?
Right.
His story just smashes that idea. The power is already inside you to start. Stop waiting for permission. Activate your own drive.
And it really boils down to this simple call to action. You just need to start filling that bucket with stories, adventures, and choices that feel true to you. It's all about personal agency, making deliberate choices aligned with who you really are, so your life reflects what you truly wanted, not just what you vaguely dreamed about. It taps into that intrinsic motivation doing things because they satisfy you.
What an amazing journey Curt Roese, the founder of Retirepreneur.com, shared with us, shifting his whole view on what's possible, even after 60. Just by deciding, consciously, to fill his life with memories, not regrets, it really shows that our timeline for fulfillment, it's in our own hands. We can rewrite the story anytime.
Absolutely. And it just underscores that a deeply personal story like Curt's holds universal lessons. Lessons about agency, about courage, about living a life filled with purpose and action. No matter your starting point, a powerful reminder. The past informs us, sure, but it doesn't have to define our future.
So true. So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's leave you with Curt's own provocative question, the same one that semi-truck basically threw at him that day. What's still sitting in your dream bucket, waiting to become a memory?